Hey, this is Ruth B, and you're watching Toasted.
You mentioned, amongst others, the Beatles as a source of inspiration, which I think, I mean, I'm an old guy, so well, I mean, when I was born, the Beatles were still there, actually. So that remind me of the song that Paul McCartney did with Kanye and Rihanna, where a lot of people were like, it's so great of Kanye to give this old guy a chance. Maybe his career will break through. So that made me think like a lot of young people probably don't know anything about the Beatles anymore.
Which is so sad because when I saw that video, I was like, Kanye West gets to hang out with Paul McCartney? Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, no, I think the Beatles are the greatest thing ever to happen to music, and I watch documentaries on them like every weekend just for fun. I love them and their music. It's so inspiring to me, and Paul's like one of the greatest writers ever, so.
Why do you like them so much? What makes them so good in your opinion?
I feel like it's like their music makes me feel a certain way, and I love when music makes me feel something. Like when I listen to a Beatles song, I just automatically feel like safe almost and like at home. It's really weird. Like I'm on the other side of the world and it gets easy to feel lonely, but when I hear like a song like Blackbird, I just automatically feel okay, like I'm going to get through whatever it's happening. So, yeah, I feel like that's so important. Like when music makes you feel something, that's when you know it's real.
Hey, talking about your songs again, Two Poor Kids. I love that too. Lyrics also. Love gets ruined by money and power and fame. Basically, what you're saying is you don't need the fame. You're not instantly looking for fame, actually.
Yeah, definitely not. No, that's not what I care about. I care about if as long as I'm making good music that people care about. That's my main concern, but all the other stuff is just noise.
Hey, and again about the Lost Boy. Why would you? I mean, of course, it's. I was thinking about the lyrics again. It is the story of Peter Pan, and of course, the book was written for a lot of kids who were feeling lonely that they had an imaginary friend they could escape to an imaginary world. Um, why would you write a song about it?
I think that when I wrote the song, yes, it's about Peter Pan, but I wanted to make it more than that. I wanted anybody to be able to relate with it, not just little kids. And I think it had, just off of that first vine, there was a lot of potential for it to be kind of just cheesy and about pixie dust and Captain Hook. But I wanted to make it more than that, and so I really wrote it from an honest place and how everybody's been lonely at some point and in need of a friend. And so I think that's why I wrote it. I didn't even know that it was going to be what it is now to me and how important it's become in my life, but I knew when I wrote it that I was saying something that mattered. And so, yeah, that was important.
And then the whole storm kicked off, and you're probably more in the States right now than in Canada. Massive difference between the two countries. What do you think of the States actually?
I like the states. I think it's fun. It's kind of seems like a fantasy world to me. Like when I'm there, I'm like living this crazy fast life, and then I'm like Ruth B when I'm in the states, and then when I go home, I'm just Ruth, and I live my normal life, hang out with my family and my friends, and comfortable. But I think both are cool. They're very different. Whole different.
A lot of Americans used to make fun of Canada, but now with the whole Trump thing going on, apparently there's like a massive influx of Americans who would love to move to Canada. Can you understand that?
Yeah, I remember reading. I forget what happened, but I remember after some political debate or something, there was a website of like, or the Google search for how to move to Canada from the states like crashed because so many people were visiting it, which made me laugh. Yeah, that whole situation is crazy. We kind of just watch from the north and we're like, really? Okay, nice.
But you have a great president yourself in Canada. I mean, I think he's an amazing guy. Actually, what do you think of him?
Of Harper or
Of
Trudeau?
Trudeau.
Trudeau. Okay, yeah, I think he's really great, and I'm actually really excited for him. I think he's cool, and he's doing something awesome with Canada, and I'm excited to see what the future is. I love Canada, so.
Talking about your future again, skip all the politics. So you're working on your album now. I mean, you only recorded an EP, which is doing well. What will the album be like? How many songs did you write already?
Yes, so my the most important thing before I signed any record deal or anything was that whoever I signed with understood that I wanted to write all my songs by myself. And so I started 2015 with one song, which was Lost Boy, and now I have about 20 that I've written in the past year. So there's definitely a wide selection of songs, and yeah, now we're just working on getting the right producer, and then hopefully the album will be out by September.
So can you name any songs? What are the themes? I mean, there's a lot of love songs and introspective songs on the EP. Will it be like that?
Yeah, there's love songs, there's heartbreak songs, there's friend songs, there's life, anger. I try to write from every emotion possible, and some of the songs are about my life, some of them are about my friends, my parents, everything. Like I write from everyone's perspective. So I think it's just gonna be a lot of honesty, a continuation of the EP. The EP was just honest music, and that's hopefully what the album's gonna be as well.
Do the people that you write about know that you write about them? And if so, do they react upon the songs that you write?
I think there's definitely situations where if someone heard that song, they would know that it was about them just because the experiences are our experiences, but I don't know. I haven't really gotten any negative reactions. I've definitely gotten a few like, "Oh, I like that song," when they know it's about them, and I'm just like, thank you for the experience. I got a great song out of it." Yeah.
Hey, of course, you're the example of how the social media and the internet can break an artist and bring an artist. It also says a lot about the music industry that there wasn't somebody scouting actively from a record company
Yeah.
to find you before you broke through on Vine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the world is changing tremendously, and social media is crazy. I mean, you can write a song in your basement in Edmonton, and 8 months later, it can go platinum in the Netherlands. So I think that just goes to show how crazy it is. You can get. I remember my biggest fear was always like, I love music so much, but how am I going to get my voice out of Edmonton? But a 6-second video sharing app, Vine, got me there. So I think if you take advantage of everything that life gives you and you work at it, anything is really possible. I believe that.
You stopped university to pursue this career. That must have been a massive step as well, right?
Yeah, that was a big change for me just because I've been in school all my life. But it was super easy for me just because school is always going to be there, but this is like a once in a lifetime. So it was a no-brainer.
What holds in your future for you? To, of course, the album. One more thing about the album. What's the artwork going to be like?
Oh, I'm not sure yet. I think that's like all in the kind of in the making. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm kind of more thinking about.
So it's that fresh.
Oh, it's like nothing is really done besides I've written the songs, but we're still working on finding a producer and stuff. But yeah, everything like artwork and the name is still kind of up in the air, but definitely working on getting a live show started, like touring and the album in September. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
So how will you start touring? Just by yourself and a piano, or you have musicians accompanying you? Or
I think right now it's just me and the keyboard. I've done a few shows. I've done two in the States, and it was just me and my keyboard, and it was awesome. It actually really helps create like an intimate, personal atmosphere with the audience. So, yeah, I think for now it's just me and the keyboard, and then obviously eventually over time it'll get bigger and brighter and louder. So.
and more touring and more playing. Are you actually looking forward to that? Because it's like you mentioned this a couple of times. I don't know if you're aware, but it's also a lonely job being a musician.
Yeah, I mean it can be lonely, but I think I've been very lucky surrounding myself with good people, and a lot of the times I actually get to bring my friends and family out with me on the road, so it's totally fine. And yeah, I don't know, I love performing in front of people now, so it's so cool to see that connection in real life because online it's just a number, like 2 million. It doesn't ever feel real until you see people in front of you, and that's when you're like, oh my God, this is real. It starts to feel less lonely.
Will you release your music on hard copy? Will there be vinyl?
I would love that. I think vinyl is like the coolest thing, and I love that it's making a comeback. It's like so indie and cool. But yeah, I think that'd be awesome, and it's something I'm looking into for sure.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. This has been awesome.